you've been following Volt for a while, whether that's our YouTube channel, our Facebook, our Instagram page, whatever it is, then chances are you are familiar with our love for beards. After all, Volt, even though we've expanded our product line to include things like hair and body products, we really started off as a beard product company specifically. Chances are if you've got a beard, you've got a mustache, and that's what we want to talk about today. We want to extend the love that we normally give to our beards into a small focused little point that is your mustache. Today we're going to give you some tips that I specifically have used and learned throughout the years to give your mustache a fuller, cleaner look by learning how to trim your mustache the right way. So let's get into it. So what are some of the tools you're going to need in order to trim your mustache the right way? You're only going to need two things, and we'll give you some options as to what those two things can be. First of all, you're going to need a small pair of grooming scissors or an electric trimmer. Secondly, you're either going to need a beard and mustache brush or a beard and mustache comb. So why do you need these things? Well, the first one's obvious. You need something that actually does the trimming in the first place, whether that's the scissors or the electric trimmer or shaver. What's less obvious is the mustache or beard brush or comb. You see, there's no point in trimming any part of your beard, whether that's your mustache or anything else, if your hair is just not lined up correctly to begin with. Otherwise, you're gonna trim first and then you're gonna do something else. You're gonna eat, you're gonna, I don't know, just casually and pensively tug at your beard the way people do when they think. Whatever it is, you're gonna end up moving those hairs around, and if you haven't lined them up before you've trimmed those hairs, then as you move them around, you're gonna notice that you didn't get everything. You didn't get all the hairs right. They're not all lined up. And it's gonna look like you had never trimmed your mustache to begin with. So, as my dad always used to tell me, straighten once, cut once, or something like that. So let's say you have your grooming scissors. How can you trim your beard the right way with those grooming scissors? Firstly, you're gonna use your mustache comb or brush to straighten the hair of your mustache and get it all pointing downwards. Now, believe it or not, if you're using grooming scissors, what you're actually going to want to do is before you start trimming your mustache, assuming everything's lined up with that mustache comb or brush, you're going to want to angle the scissors downwards so that the blade of the scissors that's facing furthest away from you is actually angled more towards the floor. Why do you want to do this? Why is this the right way? Well, that's because scissors, just based on the design of them, tend to compress things before they cut. Think about it. All of your beard hair exists on multiple planes. There's beard hair above, there's beard hair below, there's beard hair to the left and to the right. In order for scissors to cut, you practically have to flatten them onto a 2D plane, which is just a line. That is the blade of the scissors that have to come together to slice the things off. And because scissors do this, if you keep the beard scissors flat relative to your mustache, what you're actually doing when you cut is pulling the top hair straight and down. And the problem with this is if you pull the beard hair straight and compress it and then cut it, when it goes back to its natural resting position, it's going to look shorter than it does when you cut it. Angling it down the right way is going to overall cause the mustache to look more even and the hairs to look much more uniform, which gives the mustache the appearance of a more even thickness and overall cleaner look. Now, let's say you have an electric trimmer and you're not gonna end up using those grooming scissors. That's totally fine. You can still get a great trim with an electric trimmer, even if you're just doing your lip line around your mustache. However, the process is definitely going to be different. What you want to do if you're using an electric trimmer, especially a shaver with like a zero guard or a really small kind of guard on there, you're actually going to want to do kind of the opposite that you were doing with the grooming scissors. You want to keep that cutting edge of the blade as flat as possible relative to your mustache. Think of it as like you want to keep that blade parallel to the floor so they're on the same plane. That way when you're going straight across to trim, overall the mustache will have that kind of flat, well-trimmed look. And the reason you want to keep that blade straight is because electric trimmers don't require large ranges of motion in order to cut or trim your hair, not like scissors do. Whereas the electric trimmers and shavers don't require that, and they can cut very well without having to tug or compress that beard hair. Overall, when you're trimming, you're going to want to consider the size of your beard to determine what you want to do with your mustache. I have a very short beard. It's very kind of high and tight, and I like to keep my mustache the same way. I don't like any of the hair protruding past the top edge of my lip. However, if you had a much longer beard, then it's much more natural to have hair that goes past the top of your lip. So when you're trimming, you're going to want to leave that top layer of hair alone. Really, it's ultimately up to you as to what style you prefer, but these tips can come in great handy for pretty much anyone out there trimming their mustache. And don't forget to use some kind of mustache styling, or at least mustache hydrating products like beard balm, beard oil, beard and mustache wax, if you want that kind of handlebar look, if you're going for any kind of style, or even if you just have really wild, wacky beard hairs that go everywhere that you need some control for. But overall, that is it. These are just some simple tips that'll keep your mustache looking good. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. If you guys like the tips I gave you today, comment down below, tell me how they're working for you. Tell me if there's anything you would add, anything that you would suggest otherwise for different kinds of mustaches or beards out there. We'd love to hear that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.